Woody Womack and Adam Gorney, live, local, and late breaking. Here the news of the day. Travis Hunter spurns Florida State to go to Jackson State. Adam, this was the shock of the century as it happened so quickly. Rumors came out, and within 2 hours, Hunter was making his decision, throwing hats all over the place. What's your reaction?
Yeah, and some other people said this, and it was like everybody says they're going to shock the world. He actually did, at least the college football recruiting world. No one really expected this. Deion, we were watching some videos of recent Deion interviews, and he said yesterday to Barstool that he was going to shock the world. But Deion says things from time to time, and you take that with a grain of salt. So, but this was certainly surprising. In the works for at least, I would imagine, 24 hours. I can't believe that it stayed quiet so long. I can't believe that no one looked at the T-shirt underneath Travis Hunter's sweatshirt that he pulled off, and that no one checked his mom's purse for that Jackson State hat. So incredible. You could tell as you watched that that people were checking, Instagram and Twitter and social media just to see what was happening. They had a sense something crazy was going to happen, and he pulled it off. He did look, though, like he was struggling over that decision late. He was on the phone with people. So just an unbelievable story. This is why signing day rules.
Yeah, boy. And some really all-time hat throwing. I mean, when you talk, that's going to go just that alone. Even if he had picked one of those three schools, show some class. I'd love to see what the class police have to say right now is, hey, he was tossing those hats. Then his mom with an errant throw of the hat onto the stage, and he showed why he was number one. He snags it out of the air. Yeah. A dream come true for us. When we talk about him as a player, some people are going to say, well, this is a bad move for him on the field. How's he going to get to the NFL if he goes to Jackson State? Not an issue, right, from our perspective?
No, I don't think so. And we're going to have these discussions. I mean, we'll see him at an all-star game and have these discussions about number one in the country and stuff. But, if we could redo it and we had rankings back then, Jerry Rice would be number one in the country, and he's an HBCU guy. So many others, too. I mean, you go down the list of guys that have played at those schools, it's a who's who of NFL players in many ways. I don't think this has any effect on his ranking. It shouldn't, because he is just phenomenal. I mean, he's freakishly athletic, and that term is thrown around a lot, but you watch Travis Hunter play football, and it's like he plays it on a pogo stick. He is so athletic, easily someone who could have played both ways at Florida State if he went there, could have played both ways at Georgia if he went there. He goes to Jackson State. He's almost, I would argue, immediately the best player on their team. Deion Sanders is going to find ways to get him on the field. Phenomenal football player. I don't think this hurts his NFL status at all.
Yeah. Does this how about for Deion? I mean, is this Deion putting the entire country on notice that say, hey, look, I can get anyone anywhere? I mean, people laughed when he said he wanted to be a coach. He interviewed at TCU. He's 11-1 this season at Jackson State. He's completely flipped the roster in less than a year. Will he be an FBS coaching candidate at a big-time school as soon as next year?
Yeah, it's interesting because this is not the Deion Sanders of running on the field at the Under Armour game, waving a towel and going to a chair and hyping up kids. This is a serious football coach now, certainly with a personality. There's no doubt. And that comes with whoever is going to hire him. There are definitely a ton of stodgy ADs and decision makers out there that will pass. But look, this is someone that has all the bona fides of a phenomenal football player. He's done it at every level. He just doesn't talk about it. And now, over time at Jackson State, he's proving that he can coach a football team and run a program in a situation that's really not that easy. The documented things of the, facilities aren't great, and all of the things that he's dealt with there. He will come with personality. He will come with being Neon Deion and prime time and all the stuff that he has going for him. There are schools out there that will want him, should want him. Is TCU the right place for him? They decided it wasn't. There are certainly places out there that will look at him, and I think if others want to get involved in this, guys that have proven track record, And now he is a guy that not only is winning at Jackson State, but goes and gets the not just a 5-star, not just someone who is a very good football player, the number one player in the country that everyone agrees is the number one player in the country. He's the best player in the country, a phenomenal win here, just incredible. And I think Deion should get a shot, and I think he will.
We got some Florida State fans chiming in the comments. Oh man, they want Norvell gone. A bad day for Mike Norvell. He just joined you on the show, probably the highlight of his day. They lose out on Hunter. They don't get Tyree West, who they were supposed to get. And then, of course, Julian Armella, 5-star, appears to have pushed his announcement. They still have a couple of names out there they can get, but this is not to mention they lost their offensive coordinator to Oregon. I forgot about that part. Rough day for the Noles.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no way around it. There's no way that you could say anything else. It's, they're signing a class. There's talent in that class, what they need, but it's just a tough day for Florida State. There's just no way around it. Now, that doesn't mean you fire your coach, someone who is at least starting to make a turn in that program and start over again, because Travis Hunter essentially what feels like makes a snap decision to go to Jackson State. You don't fire your coach over something like that, especially someone as skilled as Mike Norvell. But just an incredibly tough day. And back to the Deion thing, it really just makes me think, who else would do something like this? Is everybody on watch now for a move like this? Jackson State has gotten some guys in previous recruiting classes that were really, really talented guys, but for one reason or another didn't fit at the school, or kind of Jackson State was a second option. Travis Hunter could have gone anywhere. He was with Florida State forever, up until 2 seconds before he put on his mom's hat after that errant throw. Everything pointed to Florida State. Well, at least an hour before the buzz started happening. But tough day for Florida State. Deion, I don't know if he'll be welcome back in Tallahassee anytime soon. But Travis Hunter is a guy that he will go to Jackson State and just completely dominate.
Yeah, that's the real question. I mean, boy, Florida State fans have got to be hating Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
yeah. When one of the reasons that we always thought Hunter was sticking was like he loves Florida State. He loves Florida State. He grew up loving Florida State. My question is, did he like Deion Sanders more than Florida State? I mean, because that was kind of his idol. He plays like him, and we know he definitely looks up to him both on and off the field.
And that's the thing. I mean, he's a Florida kid. I think I've seen some graphics with Deion Sanders in it, and that's interesting if Deion is going to go and try to pick off some other Florida State guys. But yes, I think, there's no other doubt about it. If Deion Sanders was at any other school, any other HBCU, I think, Jackson State didn't sell Travis Hunter. It was Deion Sanders that sold him, playing for him. The NIL stuff, that's a possibility for him there. All of those tie-ins are certainly big, but yeah, absolutely. He loved Florida State. There's no doubt about it. He had been committed for so long. He wasn't, playing games basically for, forever in his recruitment. He wasn't stringing anybody along until the last couple days, at least. And then Deion swoops in and gets him. It's just incredible what's happened. But you wonder, can this happen again? Eddie George is coached in that league. Is that a situation? Others will be involved in that stuff. Will schools want former NFL stars, especially ones with personality, on their staffs just for this situation? It'll be definitely interesting. I think there are a lot of ramifications moving forward from a recruiting perspective, for Deion Sanders' coaching future, for NIL, for everything.
Yeah, so we have Hugh Jackson went to Grambling, the former NFL. That's an NFL head coach.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's huge there. You mentioned Eddie George. There was word that Ed Reed was possibly a candidate at Grambling as well. And, you don't have to go back that far to see when HBCUs were producing, a ton of NFL talent. I go to Tennessee State all the time in Nashville for recruiting events, and you'll see like the statues, the plaques. I mean, it's a litany of names, and a lot of times, it was harder to find recruits. They were under the radar. They stayed closer to home. Now we've seen it in basketball. We've seen some huge names take that route, guys going to Howard and schools like that. And now I think like, this is not just Deion putting everyone on notice. This is HBCUs as a whole putting the college football recruiting world on notice that, hey, you can get to the NFL from here. You can make NIL money from here, and you can achieve all the same goals, and you could do it, at an HBCU program. So I think the stock is on the rise, and Deion may move on at some point. But now the blueprint has kind of been laid out here for several different schools to make the pitch to not only land the players, but to kind of energize the alumni base, get donations coming in, get the national headlines. And, we've even seen schools like FAMU do, LeBron sponsoring them, in all their apparel. So I really love what I'm seeing here from that. And look, I'm all for disruptors. This is
Sure.
Deion is the ultimate disruptor, isn't he?
Absolutely. And like you said about HBCUs, for one reason or another, and that's a much larger conversation, but, Jerry Rice, the best NFL wide receiver ever, was from an HBCU. Walter Payton, arguably the best NFL running back, especially at least of his time, HBCU. Down the line you can go, guys that have made it to the NFL. So this is certainly not hurting Travis Hunter's career at all. I think it's super interesting. I think people are even more interested in him now that he's going to Jackson State than if he went to Florida State. Deion is absolutely the ultimate disruptor. And what's really been interesting is when he took that job, it was a little bit of a sideshow from sort of the national media and how people thought of it. He's proven that he can win there and run a program that isn't a circus. And so that has really been impressive. Travis Hunter, entrusted his future in Deion Sanders in that program. And that is really, really something that it's really changed the dynamic of not only recruiting, but maybe college football here.
Yeah, I think when he took the job, I thought, he'll go there. We had, he's going to have a podcast at the same time. I was like, okay, Deion's going to get there, hang out for a while, and then be like, hey, I got other stuff to do. No, he's all in, and the results show. I mean, I would have loved to see them in the FCS playoffs. They're not eligible. They're playing in the Celebration Bowl. But I mean, don't you think? I mean, I know you're not a big FCS guy, Gorney, but I mean, I'd love to see Travis Hunter against North Dakota State. Okay, let's put it that way. I think he can run circles. I expect him to run circles against Clemson. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I would love to see what he can do or what he will do. We'll see how that shakes out. But just truly a historic day, a monumental day, and we're loving every minute of it here at Rivals.com. We got wall-to-wall coverage. Gorney, how many more coaches you have on today?
I think we have about at least another 6 or 8, and they're coming in fast and furious as they check out their schedules. So we'll be here all afternoon doing coach interviews and talking to everybody. Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri, Shane Beamer's coming up, Mike Loxley, the Flip King this morning. So a lot of guys still coming up, a lot still to go on Rivals.
All right. Thanks, Adam. We might go live again later today, but be sure to check out Rivals.com. Check out our YouTube page for content all day long. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Woody.